The next guy is my 9th rated quarterback prospect in the 2021 NFL draft, and that is Kellen Mond, Texas A&M quarterback. Here's a guy with a very long starting career, over 40 starts, 44 to be exact for Kellen Mond. So plenty of tape to comb through. The one thing I can say with Kellen Mond is that you saw growth from 2017 to 2018 to 2019 to 2020. Like, you saw incremental gains in his game. There's still a lot to be desired, but he's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. And as my memory told me he was, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a lot of Texas A&M football this year. I just didn't. So I had this preconceived notion of the Kellen Mond that I saw, prior to Jimbo Fisher taking over. And, I saw glimpses in 2019 and he wasn't good, in those games. I think there was an LSU game in 19 that I watched. I think he threw like 3 interceptions in it. Like, he was terrible. I'm like, yeah, Kellen Mond stinks. He grew up in his 4 years at A&M, and he's better because of it. Let's take a look. Let's flip this thing over, take a look at his card, and analyze him. We start with his experience. 44 career starts. That's a ton of experience, man. It's rare that you get that in today's NFL, today's college quarterback. Normally after 2 years of starting, if that guy is a true freshman, it's 3. If that guy is a, redshirt sophomore and he's started for the last 2 years, he's gone after 2 years of starting. So to get a guy that started essentially 4 years, that's big time. Arm talent. He can sling it, man. He can spin it. Much like I just talked about with Jamie Newman, he can rip it. And when he decides to let it go, it can go a long way. Athleticism. He's a much better athlete than Jamie Newman. He can move. He can really hurt you with his legs. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but he's definitely an athlete. Anticipation. That's one of the things that I saw him improve upon, man. Like, I wasn't expecting anticipation from Kellen Mond, but I saw it. I saw a guy that, knows that this guy's coming out of his break and that ball's out. As he whips his head around, here comes the football. It's right on you. That's how it's supposed to be. And it took him a while to get there. He used to be, I got to see it to believe it guy, And I think that had Jamie Newman played this past year, he might have ended up being like a Kellen Mond, where he develops into an anticipation thrower. Okay, I know where you're supposed to be. I'm going to go ahead and lead you there. And so that was really a breath of fresh air for me. That was something I wasn't anticipating. His anticipation. The next strength is pocket manipulation. This was another thing he has gotten so much better at. I can't tell you how many times I watched him climb the pocket, take his drop, climb the pocket, dip the shoulder, buy himself an extra second. All right, now he may not have completed the pass, but I'm like, that's good shit, Kellen. Okay? That's NFL quarterback stuff right there. So I see the progress with Kellen Mond. He's not as bad as I thought, and these are all workable traits at the next level. Pocket toughness. Talked about staring down the gun barrel, knowing you're going to take a shot, and being willing to deliver the football. Take one to deliver one, and he's willing to do that. Can throw with some touch. So going into this film, I saw him as a Cam Newton type, one of these dudes that everything is a fastball. Don't know if there's a changeup. Dwayne Haskins-esque. I don't know if there's a changeup in the arsenal. There were a few throws that, led me to believe, like, he can do this. Similar to, watching Dwayne. Like, Dwayne can put some touch on it sometimes. He can do it. It's like pulling teeth, though, with Kellen Mond. But I know he can throw with touch. And when he does, it's beautiful to watch. There's a throw. I want to say it's against Florida. And to me, that's the best game that I've ever seen Kellen Mond play. was against Florida. Shootout game, him and Kyle Trask going back and forth. And, Mond got the last laugh at the end, and they ultimately win the football game. And it's arguably the biggest win of his career. I don't even know if that's an argument that should be made. It's probably his biggest win of his career. And there's a throw over a linebacker, over the middle of the football field, to his tight end. And they've got a really impressive tight end. He's not eligible. I don't like talking about minors. So I'm not going to really go into great detail, but they got a tight end there that's pretty damn impressive. And Mond was finding him time and time again. And I think his name is Weidmeyer. And he hits him with this feathery, soft pass over the middle of the field that needed a little bit of arc and just a bit of touch. And he put it up there, and it just went over that defender's hand. And I said, hey, Kellen, that's what I'm talking about. Not sure if that's something I'm going to get from him all the time, because a lot of his passes are on a rope, on a line. But that, I know he can do it. I know he can do it. Playmaker. So I don't think Jamie Newman is a playmaker with his legs. He doesn't scare me with his legs. He can run, but he doesn't scare me. Okay? Jacoby Brissett can run. He doesn't scare me with his legs. Kellen Mond scares me because if he gets out in space, he can do some damage with his legs. Like, he could take off, and we could be talking about a 47-yard run. But when he, just like Jamie Newman, when he escapes the pocket, he's not really looking to do damage with his arm. And when he does extend, he is inaccurate. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but he's a playmaker with his legs. He can hurt you with his legs. And so that is a definite strength of Kellen Mond. You look at his weaknesses. Accuracy is a weakness. And it's not that he's inaccurate. It's just the consistency is that the thing that I struggle with. When you look at his career, he's a 58% completion percentage guy over the life of his career. However, you got to remember, this guy started at the bottom. Now he's here. Okay? His first year as a starter, 51.5%. That'll kill your average. I don't care how good you are moving forward. That's going to kill your average. Then it was 57.3. It's an increase, but you started from the bottom, so you still got a long way to go. Then it's 61.6. Okay, now we're up over 60. I like it. We still need to be better, though. Still too close to 60. 63.3, I can live with that. So he gradually got better every year. And from what I watched, when his feet aren't set, that's when you get into issues with Kellen Mond. Is when he's in the pocket, his feet are set, he's comfortable, he can deliver an accurate ball. It's when he's got to step up in the pocket and he doesn't reset his feet, or he rolls out and now he's throwing on the move. That's when he gets inaccurate. And his deep ball is a big source of contention. You know, one of the big issues throughout his career is he just didn't hit the deep ball. You know, Jimbo Fisher was begging and pleading with Kellen Mond, bro, we need more big plays in this offense. So that tells you he struggles with the deep ball. That's especially one of the things he's going to have to clean up. He can be rattled. That's the next weakness. He can get happy feet in the pocket, man. I love those happy feet. And then begin dancing. He'll start dancing in the pocket, man. I watched him against Alabama, and it was crazy because the first drive of the game was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. And then it's like the pressure of the game got to him. And he just started dancing back there. I'm like, bro, it's not even a ton of pressure. Like, the pocket isn't even collapsing. Like, why are we doing all of this movement? You know, why are we so jittery right now? So he can be rattled in the pocket a bit. He gets uncomfortable. You hit him early. He can get a little disheveled. Doesn't scramble and extend to throw. That's what I talked about when I say he's a playmaker, but legs only. When he extends a play, it's usually just to run. It's not to extend to throw. And when he does decide, I'm going to throw this one, he's inaccurate a lot of times. Very mechanical, lacks fluidity. This is one of my pet peeves with quarterbacks. Those guys with the chicken arm, with that chicken wing out there when they're throwing a football, like they're so mechanical that this is the way they were taught. Like I remember growing up playing baseball, and they would teach you when you pitch, when you throw in a baseball, they wanted your arm at a 90-degree angle, your elbow out, and they wanted the ball up, and it should make a 90-degree. Like, that's bullshit, okay? Let me throw the ball. Don't teach me this mechanical shit. Let me throw it the way I throw it. And if you got to tweak some things here and there, all right, let's adjust. But, when you teach the guys this chicken wing arm out just because you are trying to get them to keep their elbows up and then you want it to tuck in, it restricts you from being loose out there. It's like a NBA player. NBA players, shooters in particular, they don't like lifting weights because it makes them too tight. They want to be loose. They want to be able to be fluid. And I think as a quarterback, if you're a playmaker, if you're an off-schedule guy, you want to be fluid. You don't want to be mechanical. And he's mechanical. Everything he does seems like it's segmented, And that's what reminded me so much of the guy that I comp him to. I remember I went back to my notes just because the first guy that popped in my head was him. And same thing I wrote down. Very mechanical. Got the chicken wing elbow out there, and everything is so compacted. And I'm just like, loosen up, guy. Relax. You're too uptight. And he just lacks fluidity for me in that regard. And then ball security. And some of that is because of that damn chicken wing elbow. You hit that shit, the ball's coming out. This guy fumbled the ball 22 times in 4 years at the quarterback position. Okay? 22 fumbles. We're talking about damn near 6 fumbles per season. That's asinine. We're up over 5 a pop. That's insane. And he lost 10 of them. So that's not as egregious as the 22 fumbles, but as we all know, fumbles are luck of the draw. Sometimes they bounce right back to you, or they bounce right to one of your linemen, and you get a gratuitous bounce. Other times, it bounces right to a defender, or it's right outside of your reach. And so that easily could have been 18 lost fumbles. You fumbled it 22 times. You just gave the opposition 22 opportunities to take the football away from you. That's way too many. Way too many. And it's not like, he had 9 in his first year starting, and then he had 8 the next year. Nope, it's 4 in 2017, it's 7 in 18, it's 6 in 19, and it's another 5. And remember, only 10 starts. So if we extrapolate a normal college football season, he would have played 13 games. He probably would have fumbled once or twice more. So that's something he's got to clean up, man. I said all of that to say this. Kellen Mond is better than Brett Hundley. Brett Hundley's still in the league. Kellen Mond can find a way to survive in this league. I believe that firmly. So I got an early day 3 projection on him. Think somebody might take him in the 4th round. I could see somebody taking him in the 5th round as well. But my comp for him, as I already mentioned, is Joshua Dobbs, the ex-Tennessee quarterback. There's so many striking resemblances here. And much like Joshua Dobbs, and I actually went back into my notes and looked up what I had to say about Josh Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs was another guy that I didn't think much of going into the process, watched the film, and was actually impressed. And I thought Joshua Dobbs was going to be a little bit more successful. I thought he was going to have a Dak Prescott type career in Pittsburgh, and I was wrong. I don't know if Kellen Mond is going to have a Dak Prescott type of career or not, but that's what you're hoping for, is a 4th or a 5th round pick, a Dak Prescott type of ascension. But I think he's more Joshua Dobbs than he is Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott wasn't mechanical. He was fluid, and you could see Dak being a playmaker potentially at the next level. I don't necessarily see that with Kellen Mond. So, Louie T.